Recently, we were asked on a TikTok video whether we even like each other, because we're always arguing. It's always in jest, but we were also asked, banter. We were also asked whether we actually ever talk things out or whether we only say sorry using flowers. So anyway, it provoked us to both go away, and we decided to choose 5 things each on how we try to keep our marriage happy and healthy.
So what did you come up with, though?
So you're not going to like this one. I came up with communication.
I'm a very good communicator.
See, Jabs, he doesn't really communicate through words, which is a bit of a running joke in our house. I would like to talk things out, but I've kind of come to realise that doesn't really work with Jabs. But communication is more than just talking. So if we can kind of come to a compromise and realise that Jabs uses body language.
Yeah.
When he wants me to pass him something.
Yeah, but it's obvious. I'm showing you what it is I want you to do.
So I've had to sort of read because at the beginning I didn't know what all of these gestures meant, and obviously I would rather him use his words, but that's not him. So I think it's about, my tip is finding out how your spouse communicates and trying to work with that. So it might not be through words, it might be through hugs, it might be through flowers.
There you go, flowers. What's wrong with flowers?
But then this is a 2-faceted tip, because the other half of the tip is compromise. So if I'm going to compromise on your form of communication, occasionally you've got to let me use words and use words back.
True.
If we want to talk it out or argue it out until we get a solution.
Okay.
So communication and compromise.
Oh, so you've just gone in straight with 2 now?
Yeah.
Showing appreciation and gratitude for your partner. I know you're big on that, aren't you? Showing appreciation, considering you do quite a lot of stuff in the house.
I'm really big on that, because otherwise it makes you feel like it's not been noticed. And if you're doing that as a sign that you love someone.
Yeah, I think that's your biggest moan when you're annoyed, is that you're always telling me off, telling the kids off.
And the kids,
and saying that you don't feel appreciated.
Yeah, because I don't mind doing, like, cleaning the house, doing people's washing, folding their clothes, ringing doctors. I don't mind doing all those things if they are appreciated.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but we do appreciate you, boo.
Yeah, but maybe you don't say it enough.
Yeah, but I appreciate you in other ways. Show my gratitude.
See, that's not real appreciation.
What?
It has to be authentic.
Oh, it's authentic, all right.
So your tip is appreciation, showing appreciation.
Showing appreciation and gratitude.
Through words?
Through words? You love talking, don't you? What's your next one?
My next one is be willing to compromise, but this is a different thing. So communication was my first tip, and then maybe meeting each other in the middle on how to communicate. But this is learning how to compromise. So in a relationship, there'll be times when you need to be flexible and willing to see things from your partner's perspective. So
I compromise a lot, I think.
I think you do, yeah. And I think I have done as well. It's a difficult one because you've got to compromise, but I think you've got to let your partner know, right now I'm compromising. This isn't really what I want to do. Because there's going to be a little bit of an element of frustration when you compromise.
I guess compromise is about kind of being selfless. Sometimes you've got to... what is it I heard the other day? I forgot.
Dying to self.
Yeah, dying to self.
Forgetting about your own needs.
Yeah, forgetting about your own needs.
But at the same time, if you're going to do that, you have to let the other person know, because otherwise you can build up resentment, maybe. Because you might feel like you're constantly compromising, and the other person doesn't even realise that you're compromising.
It's very easy to solve, because you just start off this and say, well, why don't we come to a compromise? Hey, there you go, communication.
Yeah, it all comes back to communication. Right. It all comes back to not saying, not doing things with a bitten lip because you feel like you have to. But if you're doing something for the other person, maybe make that known to them.
Yeah.
Right now I'm compromising because I love you. No, I'm just saying that's how you would do it. Because I love you. It's not really what I want to do, or I don't really agree with it, but I'm going to give it a try because it's what you want to do.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, my next one was, this is my favourite. Keeping the romance alive. Oh, we do that a lot, don't we, babe?
No.
What do we know?
Not really.
Yeah.
Birthdays and anniversaries, that's it.
Twice a year, that's it. I think
How
it's
do we
important.
do that?
Well, because it's important to continue to show love and affection.
Yeah, we
all
do
the
do
time.
that.
I'm very affectionate.
Yeah.
I'm always touching things.
Yeah, we do show affection through touch, yeah.
Probably maybe
Hugs.
more you than me. But I'm very sensitive. You know.
You won't go there.
Communication. You see, we're talking. This is like therapy for us right now.
Oh, gosh. When I met him, he didn't like me touching him on his neck. And now it's every area of the body is suddenly sensitive, hypersensitive.
Hey,
So,
I've got sensory
I don't know how to
issues.
show, like, I'm always scared to touch.
No,
and I'm a very
you're not scared.
touchy-feely. I like hugging.
Yeah, I know you're a
because-
touchy-feely person. Listen, I let you touch and feel me all the time.
Yeah, but if you don't like it, then I'm not really showing you
It's-
affection.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's got nothing to do with me not liking it. It's just, it's very...
Anyway,
I'm just hypersensitive.
not everybody in this world is hypersensitive.
No.
So for most people, showing affection and hugs and kisses to each other is a great one, isn't it? We
And
can all
also-
do it in normal world.
And also surprising each other with little presents and gestures.
Yeah,
I'm better at that than you.
yeah, you are. But gestures often means way more to me than things, material things.
Yes, appreciation and gratitude.
Words, cards,
All comes
little
back to the
notes
same
on the
things.
fridge.
Okay, what's your next one?
Don't sweat the small stuff. So it's easy to get caught up in little things, and this is a really difficult one for me, but it's a really, really important tip. So I'm big on choosing your battles. So if something's a small niggle that someone said, that your spouse or partner has said to you or done, and it's a really small thing, I would try to ignore that and
Yeah.
focus on what's the big thing, what's the underlying issue. So if he's left his underpants on the floor and left loads
Which
of
I
glasses
don't do.
by his bed,
I don't do that.
I've learnt to try and ignore those things. And if I do make a big deal out of them, or if I'm about to make a big deal out of them, I try and stop myself and think, what's the main issue here? Is the main issue that he has not appreciated me and the fact that I've tidied the house?
Oh my days.
Or is the main issue that he's left the underpants on the floor? So can I ignore the fact he's
Yeah,
left
but
his...
can I say something here? I think you dwell on things for way too long. You
But that's
struggle-
a different thing. I'm talking
Yeah,
about...
but it's still a similar thing. It's a
small
small thing.
thing.
You don't let things go very easily.
Yeah, because that's because nothing's changing.
No, but even if it changes, you still don't let things go. You
But
hold on to them
my
for too
tip-
long.
yeah, that's a
I'm very
different-
blasé.
That's a different tip because that's about moving on.
Move on.
But that's a different tip though. My tip's about picking and choosing your battles. So I'm trying to not say
Yeah,
things
but you
now
said-
because the glasses and cups and socks are still all there by your bed, and I don't say it as regularly as what I used to
No, they're not.
because I would rather they are,
Not right now.
and the clothes all mounting up at the bed, but at the bottom of the bed because he's not bothered to put them in the laundry basket.
I put
Or
my
hang them
stuff
up.
away.
Anyway,
I'm looking really bad right now.
I'm trying to no, because they're only little things. They don't mean that you don't love me. So I'm trying to pick and choose what's the bit. I would rather have a discussion about what we do with the kids when they leave school, or how we discipline the kids, because I think that's more a bigger issue to talk about, have a discussion about, than leaving socks on the floor.
Yeah.
Socks on the floor I would love to change, but it is a small thing.
So you're dwelling. You're still dwelling. Be supportive of each other's goals and dreams, which I think is a really important one. Because obviously everyone has aspirations. Both of us have aspirations and ambitions to do as well as we can or get as far as we can in our chosen careers. But it's making sure that we encourage each other. You know, whether it's, whether you think it's a good idea or not. Sometimes it's just, maybe not being agreeable, but even if you're suggesting an alternate way to do it, but in an encouraging way, I think definitely.
I think this is one we can authentically say we do quite well. One of the few things on the list that we do well. And we're not here
You're making sound like this relationship
to present
is
the
a
ideal
struggle.
marriage. No, but we know what we're supposed to do. We're just not getting it right all the time. But I do think we get this one right quite a lot.
No, we do.
Definitely.
We don't step on each other's toes because I guess we're quite aligned in a lot of the things that we want to do.
Yeah.
And we understand the struggle of what it is we're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's much more of a struggle, I would probably say, for me in the career that I'm in. And you're quite positive in that you'll say, well, what things do you need to do to change? And if I need to change my headshots, you wouldn't say, oh, that's too expensive. Or if I needed to update my show reel, you would help me out with that. Everything's always can-do attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than saying, just forget it, this is too hard.
Yeah, I know, because it's all, also because I think it's good we do it that way, because I also want to set that example for the kids of, never seeing something as an obstacle that you can't overcome.
Exactly.
In any way. If you see something, you want to do it, go and do it. If you have to spend a little bit of money learning how to do it, then spend the money learning how to do it. And it's never a waste of money investing in yourself.
No, it's not. And then equally, if I was going to do something that might be detrimental, you would equally always speak out and say, I don't think you should do that.
Yeah.
Don't think that's going to help you in your career path or your goals. And also there's no jealousy there, because obviously my job does involve sometimes performing with other men, kissing.
Okay, well, let's hold on there.
But there isn't, because you know that's my goal. No, I know. So you're so supportive in my goal that if I had to go and kiss another guy on set, then you would understand that's...
Yeah. A lot of other guys wouldn't like that, though,
I know they wouldn't. That's why I'm saying we get this one quite right. I'm just glad that you're not an actor as well.
Well,
because I couldn't do it for you. Making your relationship a priority. So...
It's a given, though, really, isn't it?
It is, but people get it wrong. I even get it wrong. Especially with a career that's so demanding, and my children that are so demanding, it can very easily...
You let things slip.
Yeah, it can very easily become second or even third on my list.
To be fair, we haven't had a lot of date nights.
No, we've not.
Late.
And that is about making your relationship a priority. Yeah. If you don't factor in the time, spending quality time together, because you're doing other things, which I have to hold my hands up and say that is me at the minute.
Yeah, no, I guess it's both. It's a two-way thing. It's both of us, I think.
For a while, I was setting date
complacent.
night. Yeah, I was arranging date night every week. I think it was every Saturday, and then I just ran out of ideas, and other things took over. Maybe it's your turn now.
That's because the kids grew up.
Yeah, and the kids take over.
It's also difficult. I mean, I guess, I suppose this is just making excuses now, but it is difficult sometimes when you've got to get babysitters.
Yeah.
And the kids do a lot of extracurricular stuff.
Yeah, so you just... so then your date night can just be indoors.
Yeah.
But it's about sitting down at a certain time.
I know, but usually by the time
leaving the pots or
by the time we sit down...
It's about 11 o'clock.
We just want to go to sleep.
No, but yeah, you can still do it. You can still make time if it's a priority, can't you? You can leave the pots. You can leave the kids upstairs with a book and say, we're not doing 2-hour bedtime routine tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to both go upstairs at 7:30. Mummy and Dad are having date night. Mm-hmm. And you can read a book. And we'll come and check on you at about 9 o'clock, make sure you're asleep. We haven't done that, so it's about putting boundaries down, isn't it, to make that date night work, even if it is indoors.
Yeah. My last one. Seeking help when we need it.
Yeah. I'm good at that. I don't.
Yeah,
You're
but
not.
You've got to do it in the right way.
You're not.
Yeah, but I mean, seeking help is if we're having problems in our marriage, who do you go to?
I suppose you have got 1 or 2 people you would go to, actually, haven't you?
Yeah, but I think it's about, sometimes it's a bit
But we'd never go to anyone together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is dangerous. I think that's probably...
It depends who you go to, because I think things like going to family and friends is a bit... It's not the way to go, because...
No.
it's all, it kind of makes people feel like they have to take sides. So, like, for example, if we had an issue and then you go and tell your mum or your dad, oh, Jabs did this, it's a bit...
Yeah.
It's a bit biased because you're their child.
Yeah. But then at the same time, they still want the marriage to work.
Yeah.
So they're not going to completely take my side. Well, they're not, because it's not going to work giving bias one side, because that's not going to... I think friends would more likely take my side. I think that's where it gets dangerous.
Yeah, I would rather go to a neutral person.
Like a church pastor?
Church leader, yeah.
Yeah, which we don't do. We've not done that for a long time.
I haven't done that for a long time, but...
I might go on my own to a church leader. No, not really.
Yeah, because I'm just a super guy.
But yeah, it's about not being afraid to ask for help, is it? And maybe try and go to a neutral person. Someone that... Not a friend, maybe not a family member, unless it's your parents, because they do want the relationship to work.
Yeah.
But church leader's great, or counsellor, or therapist.
Yeah.
Although they will charge.
And there's nothing wrong with going to see a therapist or going to see someone just to talk things through.
But I think, I think you're right to say just be cautious with that one, because you can have... I'm somebody who will always wear my heart on my sleeve, so I can have a tendency to tell my friends everything. And that's not always healthy, because you don't know what your friends' motives are, or... You don't know, they're always going to side with me, so it's not always healthy. My last one is to find this one hard as well. It's a bit cheesy, but always remember the reason why you fell in love with that person, and try and not to change the fundamental reason of why you fell in love with that person. So if it was because they were funny and had a sense of humour, why would you then want that person to stop joking about and suddenly start being serious? Because that's the reason you fell in love with them. For example. So yeah, I think always keep that. Go back to that place, whether it was a place where you met, whether it was through friends, and what was it about that person that you liked?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean relive the old days, but it's kind of holding on to, reminding yourself of why.
Yeah.
You got into a relationship with that, but why you married that person. Those reasons are still fundamentally always going to be there, because I guess that's the foundation. Of why you're married. But
they can get clouded, I think, when life changes and kids come into play and jobs come into play. You can suddenly think that you want the person that you loved and that you're with to change.
Yeah.
To accommodate the situation, and actually you've got to stop and think, no, because that's not why I fell in love with them, and try to keep the true essence of each other alive, the true personalities, because that's what you both fell in love with. If it's love and not just lust. No. What if my appearance changed? What would you do then?
It hasn't changed. 15 years, you still look the same. No, what's wrong with you? Overall, I think the key to maintaining a happy marriage is communication.
Yep.
Showing love.
Yep. Compromise.
Remembering why you fell in love.
Prioritising one another.
Exactly. And I think the key one as well is dedication, because you're not always going to like each other.
So hard work as well.
Hard work.
Putting the work in.
Marriage is hard work. It's not.
No.
It's not always.
Plain sailing.
Cozy, is it?
No, unfortunately not.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys, and we shall see you in the next one.
Bye.